ask you about maybe 2 or 3 of your tips to get started when it comes to maybe training your nervous system, getting more resilient, increasing energy levels. What would you basically recommend to those tech leaders watching this here to say, oh, now I'm got motivated, I want to get going, right? What are 2 or 3 things that are these first steps that you say this is something that makes a lot of sense, gives you the most bang for the buck, it's easy to do, and there's no excuse not doing it?
Right. Yeah. So first is like, be honest to yourself what you're struggling with. Like if you don't sleep enough, if you have stress management issues, like if you don't move, you think your diet is crap, like what are the what do you feel yourself? You probably know what you are struggling with, and that's a good starting point, and that's a good pointer also on what you might need in terms of devices or technologies or facilitation to change that. So many people ask me like recommendations, what should I get? If you don't have any sleep issues or whatever, but you have maybe some nutritional things, I would probably look at like some lab tests instead of like a wearable. If you are like not sleeping enough, you have stress management issues, then maybe a device that measures your sleep and stress recovery, that could be a good thing. So that's a good starting point. The second one is, because we are not really that accountable to ourselves, we're always accountable to others in businesses. Like we're accountable to the team or the project or whatever life goals you have, of meeting the ends, but we are not really accountable to ourselves. We know we are not in a healthy state. Like if there's no one to prove yourself to, like but yourself, you're less likely to do it. So that's where like facilitation comes in. Like get a personal trainer, a coach, someone who knows better, who can do the research for you, like knows how to interpret your data sets and all that. It's a big plus. Like especially if you're super busy and you don't have time to dive into all this stuff yourself, get some external advice. And the benefit is that then you're accountable to someone. You're accountable to that person that, hey, I'm going to do this, and you come back to that person on a weekly basis to check what's going on, and constantly reminds you of the things that you should be doing in terms of getting yourself back on track. So I think it's good to get some external help also for these things. And yeah, the third thing is get the Biohacker's Handbook and figure out how your body works. It's good to get some like basic training and understanding on health and fitness and well-being, and because there is so much information out there that is what people think is common sense, what they think is like newspapers and tabloids are writing about, and the deeper I dive into it, I realize that there is a lot of disinformation out there, even on mainstream media. So it's important to go in and really figure out like things about diets, about exercise protocols and so on. Like maybe like running on a treadmill and not eating is not the healthiest way to lose weight, for example. It's actually the worst. So there's a lot of counterintuitive things that are going on with health and fitness. Like if you want to lose weight, like it's about more about changing your diet, and not necessarily calories, but the type of like macronutrients you're getting, than it is to, let's say, exercise, even than it is to cut certain things. Like a lot of people would think that like going low fat is the way to lose weight, that they're eating too much fat because fat is on their body. But it turns out that actually increasing the number of fats, reducing sugars, might be an even more effective way of burning that off. Like it's supported by studies. So getting some of that like basic understanding is I think is important, to be not ignorant, but to actually know what to do.